We have a right to live and breathe on this planet, and we'll talk about that next.
Greg Fritz Ministries wants to give you a free booklet entitled The Meaning of Life that accompanies this television series as our gift to you. To receive your free printed copy of our new booklet, The Meaning of Life, call us at 918-878-8000. Are you tired of hearing bad news? Tune in to the good news of the gospel.
I love Greg.
I love the way he teaches faith and the way he teaches healing. It's phenomenal.
Greg Fritz has been changing lives through the good news of the gospel for over 35 years.
Because he delivers the Word of God with such warmth and balance and great clarity.
This good news will inspire, inform, and change you so you can live daily in all the promises of God. Welcome to Good News with Greg Fritz.
Hello, I'm Greg Fritz. Welcome to the Good News program. We're continuing our series on the meaning of life, and I have given you the short version of that answer of what is the meaning of life throughout this series, but we're still in the book of Genesis, and we're working on just maintaining a proper worldview in a world that has attacked every scriptural and traditional value that there is. And so we're just pushing back on that, and we're giving you scriptures to establish your place in this world. You are not an imposition on this planet. You're not, you're not ruining the planet, trashing the planet. We do create a carbon footprint, and we do create a certain amount of pollution, each one of us who live here, but it was expected. God created this world with us in mind, and so it's one thing to say that, we're ruining the planet's dying. It's another thing to say we're using the resources to promote human life, and the planet is getting older. There's a difference between getting older and dying. It's not the same thing, and we're going to go into that today. But let me give you the opportunity to get my study notes. You may want notes on this. If you're a note taker, we've taken the notes for you, and you can get this on my website. Download them right now. If you go to the homepage, look for the study notes and ask for or click on the Meaning of Life button. We will also mail those to you free of charge, and we're offering this book, The Meaning of Life. This is a booklet, and we will send this to you free of charge as well. If you call in to get the study notes, you can ask for the booklet as well, and we'll mail this to you. It's the Meaning of Life overview, and you can get that. And then we've got a series, an audio series, and another book that I'll talk about later. Lots of products that we have that I think will help you. If you like this line of teaching, check out my product page on my website, because we have a lot of things that go with it. Let me go back now to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, and I'm going to read the amplified version of this verse. But God is telling the original, the first man and woman, which represent all of us. In other words, the command that He's giving them applies to all people, all humans throughout this dispensation. And here's what He said. He said, subdue it. In other words, subdue the earth. Actually, I probably need to read verse 27, and then we'll jump over to the Amplified. But verse 27 says, He created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them. And then God blessed them. This is verse 28. Then God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth. And then we'll start with the Amplified, which says, subdue it, subdue the earth, using all its vast resources in the service of God and man, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over every living creature that moves upon the earth. So God's given us dominion over them. We're not just one of them. We're not one of them. We are made in the image of God. We're not made in the image of an animal. We are not the human animal. We are made in the image of God, and we've been given dominion over the earth. Now, these things are obvious if you just look at the earth. The Bible is stating the obvious. This command to subdue and take dominion was real, and it was really given to humankind, and it's been acted upon for 6,000 years, so that cities are the result of this. An 8 billion person population of the earth, that's part of this, taking dominion. Interstate highways, water systems, sewer systems, all the things that are developed, air travel, airports, all the things that have been developed, the progress that humankind has made is a result of this command to subdue the earth and have dominion. It's not wrong to do that. It's not wrong to have a house and live in it. It's not wrong to have a yard. It's not wrong to have a driveway made out of cement. It's not wrong to have cement sidewalks and asphalt roads. It's not wrong to get in a car and drive down those roads. It's not wrong to get in an airplane and fly. These things are part of this original command to subdue the earth and take dominion. It's scriptural, came from God. And I'll go into more detail, but let me read a few more verses. This is Psalm 8, verse 6. It says, "You've made him, humankind, to have dominion over the works of your hands, and you have put all things under his feet." So we're up here, and the rest of creation is under our feet. We're not at the top of the food chain. The food chain was provided for our support, for humans. Everything that you see in creation was made before humans, and it was all made to support human life. Now that does not go along with secular thinking at all, but it's scriptural. That's why God created man and woman last. He got everything in place. He didn't create anything after man and woman. He didn't create anything for man and woman to be subservient to except himself, and he wasn't created. The last thing that he did in creation, in the creation story, was to create humans. Everything up till then was made to support human life. Psalm 115 verse 16 says, even the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth he has given to the children of men. So we're not imposters on this planet. We're not, terrorists that are terrorizing the planet. We're not here trashing the planet. He gave the earth to humans. He gave it to us. And so the lives and the animals and the plants and the things here, the environment, the resources that we've discovered is all here to make human life better. I know there's people that would disagree, and if you disagree with me, I invite you to write your comments down and email them to Andrew Womack Ministries. They really want to hear from people who disagree with me. If you agree with what I'm saying and you want to encourage me, then you can email gregfritz.org. We would love to hear from you and get your comments. I'm kidding. Not really. But look at Genesis 1, verse 28. We'll read this in the New King James again. "Then God blessed them," man and woman, "and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." So here's a question. Here's a good question. Should we save the planet? Should we save the planet? Are you interested in saving the planet? Is it scriptural to save the planet? Well, my first question is, save it from what? Should we be good stewards? Yes. Should we trash the planet and pollute it for no reason? No. Should we clean up our messes? Yes, as best we can. But there's a different world view that is behind this save the planet at all cost and cut back on everything, conserve everything, don't be the person you were meant to be because we're saving the planet. That world view really is held by people primarily that believe this, that this is all there is. This planet we're fortunate to have it. Look what evolution has produced. And we've got to do our best to save it because it's got to last forever. People who have a scriptural worldview would say this: the planet's wonderful, creation is marvelous, it's incredible, it reflects the attributes of God clearly, we've been given stewardship, custodianship of this planet, and we should take care of it like you would take care of something you own. But it doesn't have to last forever. You know, in the mind of the first group of people who want to save the planet because it's got to last forever, they believe that the earth has got to last forever and humans pass away when they die. But the opposite is true. Humans last forever and the earth is going to die. Now, the earth right now, it's not dying. And people look at the pollution and different things that are, you know, that are devolving, that are getting worse over time. That's what age does. And the universe it had a beginning, and it is winding down. It's one of the laws of thermodynamics that things wind down, that it goes downward in a downward spiral, winding down. That's just part of the world we live in. But to say that it's dying, it's more correct to say it's getting older. The world is not going to die. It's not going to die. So, well, is it going to last forever? Nope, it's not going to last forever. So if the world's not going to last forever, we don't have to treat it like it has to last forever. But if it's not going to die, what's going to happen? I'm glad you asked that. 2 Peter 3, verse 7 says, "But the heavens and the earth, which are now preserved by the same word, are reserved for fire." So first of all, the earth is preserved by the word of God. It's going to be here until God's done with it. And you know, there's just so few things you have to worry about if you accept God and accept the Bible. You can just be so confident in so many things if you just take the Bible, take God at His word. If God created this planet with foreknowledge, and He did, absolute, complete foreknowledge, and if God created us and put us on this planet, then you can be sure that there's going to be enough of everything to last until He's finished with it. Now, if you don't believe in God, all of that's out the window, and you never know what could happen. And we could die at any moment by any natural disaster. We could run out of air. The pollution could kill us, the ozone hole, and all the other scenarios that they talked about. The sun could go out and we'd freeze. The sun could explode and we would burn up. There's nothing off the table when you don't believe in God. But if you believe in God, and why wouldn't you? I mean, really, do you think we got this far, society, humankind, accidentally? Do you think we're that lucky that there could be absolutely nothing and some chance explosion happen for no reason that science can't explain and accidentally produced a universe, and that at some time in the billions of years ago, the earth came out of that swirling mass of matter and it finally became suitable to support life, and then out of non-living material, for no reason, a living cell emerged from the primordial soup, and that cell began to thrive and grow and develop and evolve, and billions of years. Do you really think we're that lucky? I mean, it really doesn't make sense. And the fact that God created the heavens and the earth does make sense. It even makes sense as far as science is concerned. Science knows that the universe has not existed forever. Science knows there was a beginning. And science knows that in order for the laws of science that are in place today, the laws of thermodynamics, matter and energy and all of these things, that all those laws had to be suspended for the universe to emerge. They just don't know how that happened. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth is a perfect explanation for that. Set all these things in motion, put all the laws of science here, and all these things have continued on until God put people on the earth, and we've gotten to this point where we've developed society to this level. And it's not going to end because we ran out of resources that God put here for us to use. So we don't have to worry about those things. what we should be concerned about is that humanity would find the reason for their existence, that they would find the meaning of life, that they would search and find God, because that's what it's all about. It's not about saving the planet, it's about saving the people. And so it's a great diversion to get people's eyes on the planet that's not going to die, by the way, and it's not going to run out, by the way, and it's not going to last forever. It's only going to last as long as necessary, and then it's going to be reserved for fire. 2 Peter 3:10, the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens, the starry heavens, the universe will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. So there's going to be earth and works in the earth that will be burned up. In 2 Peter 3:13 it says, nevertheless we, according to His promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. So God's going to create a new one, going to create a new universe and a new earth in which righteousness dwells. So the earth is getting older. We are using resources. There have been some animals that have become extinct. And I'm not happy about that, but that happened. It didn't cause the earth to collapse. It didn't cause the ecosystem to collapse. But yeah, there are some species that don't exist anymore, and that's not a testimony to evolution. That just means things are getting older, and some things have phased out naturally or otherwise. And but here we are, and because we're here, because the world was created for us. Animals and plants were created for our use. And it is natural. This is not popular. It's not common thought in our secular world, but it's happening every day. Animals and plants would gladly give their lives to make our lives better. That's why they're here. And that's probably the most unpopular thing I've ever said in public, but it's absolutely true. Plants and animals were created to live and die, to make our lives better, to provide for humans. That's how much of a difference, how much of a gap there is between the highest animal and humans. We are made in the image of God, and God created all these resources to make our lives better. So it's not wrong to wear a fur coat. See, well, some animal gave his life so you could wear that coat. Don't you feel bad? Look, if it weren't for humans, animals would have never existed. They would have never been created at all. There was no use for animals. God didn't want animals. He wanted people. God didn't want plants. He didn't want a garden. He wanted people. That's why when He created the garden, He didn't stay there and enjoy it Himself. He didn't need a garden. He had heaven. He created the garden for people, and He put people in it as soon as possible. He created the plants for people. When the people appeared, He said, look, I've given you dominion over all the plants, all the herbs, all the trees, all the animals, all the creeping things, the whole planet. It's yours. Do with it as you want. You're the manager. And so all of these things were put here to support and to enhance human life. The resources, things we've discovered and invented have all been put here for us. And I know that sounds extremely self-centered, but I'm trying not to read anything into this other than what it says in the Bible. God's the one that said it, not me. If God had said, you better make sure that this planet outlives you, you better make sure that nothing goes wrong here, you better make sure you don't leave a print, a fingerprint, a bit of pollution, you better make sure your carbon footprint is completely neutral. He didn't say that. He literally said it's all here for us. You know, one of the things that I like, all of creation points to God, from the molecular level to the vastness of the universe. But to me, dogs and cats are just an absolute testimony there's a God. For those animals to be so human friendly, and I know they give credit to evolution, but I just don't believe it. There is no amount of evolution that can make a dog that is so devoted to humans. I mean, they would rather die than disappoint a human. They're just amazing creatures. Cats, they could go either way. You know, cats have their own mind, but that's cool. Some people prefer cats. Some people prefer dogs. And there's all the breeds of dogs. God did that. And so, you know, you can think, well, how could it be fair for an animal to give their life for us to have a fur coat? Or for an animal to give their life so that we could eat their flesh? How cannibalistic is that? Well, they're not humans. We don't eat humans. But they're animals. And they were created to give their lives to support our life. So get over it. You can't change nature. This is how and you may not like the thought of this, but if you took humans out of the situation, do you know the animals would still eat each other? They're not going to go, hey, the humans are gone. Let's all just get along now. Let's just be friends. No, they're going to keep eating each other because the whole ecosystem is interdependent. And then they're going to eat plants. So plants don't get a free pass. There's animals that eat plants. There's animals that eat animals. And we eat it all. Now, we don't eat dogs and cats, but still, think about this. Dogs and cats were created to give their life to enhance human life. And to me, that's just an incredible gift that God gave the world. I am just amazed at the details that God, the lengths that He went to, the specifics, the things that God created to enhance human life. You say, well, that's just not fair. Well, it's not possible for an animal to have a human pet. Think about that. That's never been. You ever seen a dog leading someone around by the leash, or a bear that had a human pet? That's just not nature. We are in a class by ourselves, and the whole world was put here. You think, you know, and I've watched these nature shows, and some of them are extremely violent, and there's no human involvement. I mean, there's animals that are killing each other and eating each other, and you watch that and you go, man, oh man, that's drastic. I mean, that's violent. But do you know, this is what came to me one time. The whole creation tells the redemption story. And in the animal kingdom, when an animal dies, when it's killed by another animal, it sustains the life of the predator. So literally, an animal gave its life to support the life of another. And what hit me was God Himself is not asking the animals, the plants, to do something He wasn't willing to do. Jesus came, and He Himself gave His life to support humans, to save humans, to make life better for humans. And if He's willing to do that, it's not a big deal that the animals do the same, the plants do the same, and the whole ecosystem is here to support human life. Does that make us the center of everything and self-centered and selfish? No, look, we're here to give glory and honor to God. It's all about God. It's not about us. However, if you're going in the natural progression of things, there's the universe that was created by God to support the earth. The earth was here to support life. Plant and animal life was put here to support human life. But we didn't end with that. It's a step. There's another step to take in this process, and that is humans were here to glorify and honor and give God pleasure. If you want to look at it all as a food chain, God's at the top of the food chain, or whatever, the pyramid. God's at the top. So when people stop at the human race and they don't go any further than that, they've really missed the meaning of life. All of this was done so that you and I could know God, love God, have a relationship with God, and share this fellowship forever and ever as His children. That's really what it's here for. And all of creation is giving its life to make that possible. God Himself came and gave His life to make that possible. There has been a lot of effort that's gone into this. And the reason it's confusing, and the reason it's not clear, is because there's an enemy. And he's here sowing discord, disinformation, confusing people, getting people's eyes on other things. But the whole point of all of this was that so you and I could know God. That's it. And really it's not complicated. And so if you were going to try to stop that as an entity, a foreign entity, if you were going to come to this planet and try to stop this master plan, you would do exactly what the devil's done. You would divide people. You would tell them there's no God. You would tell them that the planet must be saved. You would tell all the things that they're being told and believing are seeds sown by the enemy to separate people from God. So it's not a big deal for a bear to die so that someone gets a fur coat or whatever. I don't know what they make fur coats out of, but it's not a big deal for a cow to die to provide food for humans. The whole world is built this way. The entire creation was made to produce human life so that God then could have a family that could love Him and He could love them. That's it. That's the meaning of life. And so you can see that saving the planet is a diversion because it doesn't need to be saved. You can see that saving the, let's say we lose a few more species of animals. That's too bad. I don't want to see that happen, but there may be some things go extinct. If you watch the shows, you'd think that's the worst thing that could ever, extinct. You know what? They're all going to be extinct. When it's over, they're all going to be burned up, whatever's left. It doesn't have to last forever, but it's going to last long enough for you and I to make a decision, and hopefully you will, to choose God. I want to know God. I want to love God. I want to serve God. I want to give my life to God. And then the fun begins. We're just in the choosing phase right now. The real fun begins in the future. You don't want to miss that. Well, that's all the time we have. Get my book, free booklet, The Meaning of Life. And if you can't get anything else in my product library, get this book, The Good News. It will really fill in the blanks. Some of the things that we've started here were actually seeds that created this book. And there's a lot more to cover as far as a proper worldview, who you are, where you came from, why you're here, and where you're going. And it's in this book. So check out your copy of the Good News book. It's $15. This is not a free book. There's a difference. This book, free. This book, $15. We can't send these out free. I wish we could. We're just not at that level yet. So check this out and get your free copy. You can get it on Amazon, or you can call our helpline, or go to my website and order your copy today, and we'll send that right out to you. The Good News book. And if you like this content and you believe in it and you've watched it for a while, if you're a new viewer, just keep watching. There's no obligation. I don't want you to feel pressured in any way. But if you've watched the program and you like it, you agree with what I'm saying, and you see the need for it, consider partnering with us. There's the ways to give her on the screen. Call our helpline. We'll answer any questions you may have. That's all the time we've got. Don't miss the rest of this series. Until then, remember this: the good news is so good, the bad news doesn't matter.